Host Tom Schmitz coming to you from the studios of WOCA Radio, just off the runway of the Ocala International Airport in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala, Florida. In the studio with me now is a man who leads the group of men and women who protect and serve our Brick City, beautiful. Chief Mike Balken is in the studio with us. Chief Balken, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing, sir?
Getting ready for Christmas. Now, here's the key, with all that's going on in the world, with all that you have on your desk on a daily basis, all the policing and community service that you and the men and women of our police department do, you got everything bought for your wife for Christmas?
I got an early start, and I'm happy to say this is probably the first time in a long time that I'm ahead of the game. I'm done.
Done.
I'm proud of myself.
My wife and I, it's very difficult for us because if we want something or if we want to give a gift to each other, we just buy it and give it to each other. Sure. It doesn't matter what day it is. So it's really, Christmas is really for her nieces and nephews and my nieces and nephews. So somebody goes, what'd you get your wife? I go, I think one thing maybe. It's not really that. We'd rather have the day off where we just sit on the couch in sweatpants and shorts and socks and watch TV together than worry about what we got each other for gifts.
Yeah, we try to keep it meaningful, and gifts are important. But it's more about spending time with the family and just being together. Yeah.
And I get the double whammy. Christmas is the 25th. Her birthday is the day after New Year's.
Oh, God bless you.
So I have to double up.
God bless you, Tom.
And she does, because of what she does spectacularly for me in the summers. Our summer vacation always, in the 2.5 years we've been together, the 2 years we've been together, it's always around my birthday. So our vacation is always my birthday themed.
Gotcha.
So she goes way and above beyond for my birthday than I do for hers.
Sure. I think I don't know what it is about wives. My wife takes way better care of me than I do her. So.
I noticed she was taking in the ugliness that was the 15-0 loss last night in Tampa.
Yeah, I luckily wasn't watching the game, but yeah, she took my daughter down and enjoyed the festivities.
The atmosphere.
So, there you go. That's and I talked to her this morning. They stayed over. They're driving back this morning, and I just talked to her on the phone. Yeah, it was obviously a brutal game. So that was their first one. So I don't know if they're going to assume that had something to do with their loss, but they took it pretty hard.
Yeah, I watched it on TV last night, and I go, paint drying is probably a little better than what's going on right now.
It was a tough. From what I heard, I didn't watch it again, but they said it was a pretty tough game.
Yeah, I'm a big Falcons fan, and we scored 13 points yesterday. And if you flip that point, 13 and make it 31, that's what San Francisco scored. So.
Yes, they did.
So with Christmas coming up, with the holiday season being here, how much of a problem, or is it even a problem? Because I never seem to hear about it in the news or anything, and I check the police blotters a lot and everything. You see a lot of times robberies and burglaries are up around the Christmas season. Is that something that increases here as well, or?
Yeah, robberies, both those, robberies and burglaries alike, tend to go up during the holiday season. I'll say this, we've, through some technological advances, and I won't go into a whole lot of detail about those, but we've done a pretty good job of stifling at least business robberies that used to occur every few days in Ocala, and they're almost unheard of anymore.
Yeah, we used to have the Dollar Generals and all that were robbed on a daily basis almost, and you don't hear about those stories a whole lot anymore.
Dollar Generals, the bank robberies that we used to have, convenience stores were a big target. And again, we just utilizing some specialized equipment, we were able to pretty much put a stop on that. Word gets out to the criminals that hey, it's just not worth it. You're going to get caught. And two, I would say this, Tom, that crime is really taken a big shift from that from that gun in your face robbery to online frauds, forgeries, identity theft, credit card fraud, things like that. It's just there's a plethora of that going on across the country, really, and we've had to really take a hard look at that and beginning to kind of redistribute resource allocations to combat that versus that street level crime that we kind of grew up with.
Well, a lot of people. I had a friend of mine that's a lawyer in Atlanta that said he had a criminal that he was defending. That when he asked him, he goes, you used to be a stick-up man. Now you're doing all these computer scams and everything. What changed? He goes, 10, 20 life if you use a gun. I can use a computer and be out in 12 months if I need to be.
Well, unfortunately, there's
Some truth to that.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And is that the number one nonviolent crime now? Identity theft and fraud, credit card fraud, stuff like that.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Computer-related schemes of all types, whether it's bank fraud, identity theft, credit cards are a big problem for us, and it's frustrating for us because it takes a tremendous amount of work now just to investigate one of those cases. Most even your credit card company as a victim is going to require that I get a subpoena to get your records when you're the victim. So yeah, when you, yes, sir, I know it boggles the mind, but that's kind of what we're up against. So it takes a huge amount of man hours or resource time to investigate those properly and come to a successful conclusion. So it's maddening sometimes.
Millennia Bank, take this right now. If I ever have an issue where I have to have the cops involved and they need to get my bank records, no subpoena, just give the damn things to them.
I wish you could do that.
Tom
right?
Schmidt says, give my information to them.
You would think it'd be that easy.
It's not.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Right.
Because it's all about CYA.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
It's all about CYA. We just talked about, I talked about a story earlier this morning about the Burlington, Vermont Police Department, that the city council did something that our city council has not even talked about doing. They went last year in a knee-jerk reaction, in my opinion, and cut the staff of the police department by 30%, but they said they were going to do it through attrition. We're going to let people retire and stuff like that. Well, guess what happened? I know you're a police officer, lifelong police officer. I know you're going to find this surprising, but the police department, when they saw that passed 9-3, said, well, we don't have the backing of our politicians, the people who make decisions about us anymore. We quit. And they went to other jurisdictions. They didn't lose the 30% they thought they were going to lose. They lost 43% of what they thought they were going to lose, to the point now where the downtown area of a college town, the University of Vermont is there, at nights only have 5 to 6 police officers to patrol the whole town, which is 44,000, which some people have said has left the downtown square area where the bars are located as one big free-for-all, drunken, lawless keg party.
I'm sure.
And now even the councilman, the council person that put this legislation forward goes, we may have jumped the shark on this.
Yeah, and we've seen that across the country, right? San
Francisco mayor's now saying we got to do something.
Seattle, Portland, you name them, even Atlanta in that area. So yeah, we've seen it across the country, and you said it right. You used that right word, a knee-jerk reaction to a very isolated.
An isolated incident. It was a murder, a knee put on a man's neck. We're not disputing that George Floyd was murdered by a cop who didn't use his training properly.
And who deserves to go to prison.
100%.
People I really think failed to see there's over roughly 900,000 police officers across this country, and that equates to millions upon millions of police citizen contacts every given day. And 999 out of 1,000 of those go off without a hitch. There's the occasional incident that, because of body cams and cell phone footage and things like that, that certainly get sensationalized. And then a false narrative gets driven about who the police are, what our fundamental job is, what we're sworn to do, and it's unfortunate I think the news agencies have certainly played a big role in that. Politicians around the country have certainly played a bigger role in that, and it does to do that, to sensationalize those incidents, and it serves a disservice to our entire profession. It really does.
They make it look like the entire narrative is this happens every day in every police department across the country.
Right, and again, I remind people this all the time. Of the few internal affairs investigations we have, say at an agency like the Ocala Police Department, like 95% of those investigations are initiated by me. By internally by the Ocala Police Department.
Right.
We don't wait on a complaint. We don't wait on you to come in and say, hey, an officer was rude or did something wrong. We have a very robust review process that requires multiple levels or layerings of review to make sure that our cops are doing the right thing every day, every shift. And that goes on around the country at every police department that I know of. So, the bottom line is and shame on us in our profession, we've allowed this false narrative to go on across the country. I think because we failed to tell our story well, but luckily, our city council and our mayor certainly support their police department. And we're honestly benefiting from some of those, unfortunately, from the actions of some of those cities elsewhere. We're actively recruiting those police officers all the way out as far as Seattle. We've got geofencing technology around NYPD, Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, Ferguson, you name it. If their city's burned and they fail to support their police department, we are targeting their officers and inviting them to come work for a chief, a mayor, a city council, and quite frankly, a community that truly supports their men and women in blue.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, I don't remember when it was, the Ocala Star-Banner ran a story about a police sergeant who discharged his weapon as he was pursuing a criminal who had a gun, had it in his waistband, reached for it a couple times, dropped it, and even after he tripped and fell, he was crawling towards the gun to get it again. The officer fired, did not strike the individual, but his firearm was discharged. That kicked in a whole lot of protocols where an internal investigation pursued, the district attorney was involved, the officer was found to be justified in every one of those situations, and in each of those investigations, they were open investigations where the community was kept up to date. How important is that kind of transparency to being in a situation where where the community, the city council, the mayor, everybody supports the police department in our community?
Yeah, no, I think it's extremely important. People want to know that you're looking at these, reviewing these, investigating these incidents with great vigor, that you're including the prosecution, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, everybody that could potentially have a stake in a situation like that, to make sure you're doing it correctly. I'll say though that there's a fine balance there, right? There's certain protocols that we have to follow to ensure that the police officers' rights are adhered to as well, to make sure if in fact that something was deemed to be improper, that either a criminal review or even an internal discipline process is upheld later on. So we want to get it right, but there is a fine balance. But yeah, I think in the end, people want transparency. They want to know that we're looking at this, we're taking it seriously, and that we're doing the right thing. So I think, to make sure everybody buys in and you get that support, you got to be as transparent as possible and get it out there as quickly as possible as well.
What do you say to the guy though, or the girl that says, yeah, but if you had an independent, community-based oversight committee that instead of police that are going to watch out for their own, you would be a lot more effective? Because I say we have that oversight committee already. It's called city council.
Well, I think there's a couple things at play here. You have a police chief, you have a mayor, and you have a city council that provide a certain level of oversight. Two, with our sunshine laws here in Florida, we're different, I would argue, than a lot of states across the country where a lot of that stuff is kept sealed up, buttoned up, and you don't have access to. So if you want access to any of my investigations, you come down and ask. I'll give you a copy of the whole file. Here's what I'll say about independent oversight committees is, quite frankly, I think the last couple of years has been a prime example of how they absolutely do not work. Or I would argue that, or it's arguable at least, that the vast majority of the cities across the country that saw riots, their cities burned, every one of those large cities that I know of had civilian oversight committees. I think it stifles the discipline process, which already takes a tremendous amount of time already. I think in the end, what it does is it invites folks that don't know or know very little about law enforcement to come in and wreak havoc, slow the discipline process down, and sometimes cause more divisiveness between the police department and the community that they serve.
I hear people all the time say, Tom, I understand what you mean by policing because they know I'm a staunch supporter of the police department. Mm-hmm. Even with my background, I think the police are the one of the best things we have in this community. Right. And people say, but we need more counseling and we need more interaction with social work. And I go, Do you not know that there are victims advocates that go out to scenes all the time? Do you not know that there are counseling options that are at every kind of criminal scene and everything? These things are already in place without having to add to it. Is that correct?
That is true. We have a victim advocacy program that get involved in everything from mental health to domestic counseling, domestic abuse situations, things like that. Any kind of traumatic scene they'll come out on and help us with. And plus, I think a lot of people fail to realize the tremendous amount of those services that already exist in Ocala. I had a psychologist asked me the other day, "Hey, would you like to partner with me to, do a program where I could come out and help you?" And I said, I think in your mind it makes a lot of sense, but the bottom line is you and I both know you're not getting up at 3 a.m. to come out to one of my scenes. It's certainly not in a timely manner when I need you, because by the time you get there, the instant that may have caused or the situation may have caused a shooting or a confrontational situation with police, it's going to be over by the time you get there, right? So I've heard that we're going to put counselors in police cars around the country, going to do different things, but quite frankly, I don't know of any chief or sheriff that thinks that's an answer to some of these sensationalized news reports.
I'll give you a prime example of where you have in place situations of counseling without people realizing you have it in place. I'm watching ID Network on television, and they have a show called Body Cam, and it shows body cams from all around the country. And lo and behold, I'm looking, and it says Marion County, Florida. So I'm watching this incident. It's a man that's barricaded himself in his trailer, and he won't come out. And the sheriff's department has responded to the call and everything. He won't come out. Well, they call after 3 hours to negotiate with this guy. They said, "Look, we don't know where he is. They only said he had one gun. Now we see 2 more long guns in the hallway of this trailer. We need to call SWAT out because it's become a situation where we may have to enter the home, and we need." So the OPD SWAT is the SWAT that responded. Right. Now, subsequently, the man set his trailer on fire and everything. I know you know the incident I'm talking about.
I do. Yes.
And one of the things that was great is through education that one of your officers, one of your SWAT members had taken extra on their own. They had done some social counseling and everything. He's counseling this guy, even though the guy set his house on fire and all. The SWAT member that's laying behind a tree for protection so he doesn't get shot, he's not yelling at this guy in a mean manner. He's not telling the guy, "Hey, scumbag, come out of the house," or anything. He's like, "Partner, I'm trying to help you here. You got to work with me. Your house is on fire. You don't want to die. Nobody wants to kill you out here." And he's doing the same thing a counselor would be doing. A counselor's not going to run in with a cape on and save him. They're going to try to talk the guy calmly out. That was taking place. Now, eventually, you had to go in and take the side of the house off and get the guy out. He was on fire. You had to put him out and everything. But at no time during that incident was anybody out of control or angry or anything. It was more of a counseling moment. They just were also well armed in case he started shooting at him.
And that happens daily. We've got as do most agencies our size, an active hostage negotiations team that comes out on any critical incident like that. They accompany the SWAT team on any of their bigger scenes that they go out and work. And these are highly trained individuals, and they take pride in bringing situations like that to a very successful and nonviolent resolution, and they do a great job. But it happens daily. It happened yesterday. I was on the phone with the watch commander. I heard something going off on the radio. I was driving around on Sunday, and I say, "What's going on at the hospital?" He says, "We had a guy that was kind of out of control, but one of our hostage negotiators was there, talked the guy down, and the guy ended up, without even a pair of handcuffs, ultimately walking to the officer's squad car and got in and sat down." But that happens daily.
Well, the guy that they put out on fire, he thanked them for putting him out because he was on fire. He thanked them for that.
I would hope so.
Just like the guy that was hanging off the side of the interstate. And your a couple of your sergeants and a detective talked that guy. He was about to jump into oncoming traffic on I-75. This was 2 years ago, I think. Yeah. But they negotiated with him. There was no guns drawn. "Hey, buddy, either get over this side of the fence or we're going to shoot you." Nothing like that.
That's always a last resort, right? I mean, back, I would agree that 50 years ago, a hostage negotiator's job was to do one thing.
Dirty Harry was there to distract him so Dirty Harry could shoot him.
Just talk the guy in front of the window for the sniper.
Exactly.
But that's just not police work anymore. And It never was. That's sensationalized, a sensationalized news report or belief.
And Dirty Harry movies.
Exactly, right. And we never operated like that, not in my 30 years of being a cop. So.
Well, when I saw that ID Network show, and there it was, Marion County Sheriff's Department with the Ocala Police Department SWAT team, and Malone, he was walking in and out of camera view. I don't know, blocking the entire process. He'll get me for that, by the way. He'll get me for that. But it was very well done. It was very. Everybody was under control. These are men who are laying there having no idea whether they're fixing to be shot at, what kind of weapon they're going to be shot at with, whether these are BB guns or actual long rifles. Sure. These are things they don't know, and yet they're still trying to peacefully, hey, buddy, we understand things are bad in your life. Look, this isn't the answer. All we want you to do is come outside and talk to us. We want to get you the help you need. And by the way, took him to the hospital for his burns and everything. Now, the show didn't tell me the outcome of it, so I don't know what the outcome. But I'm sure this guy faced the jurisdiction he needed to face. But I'm sure it was all done in a professional manner. Just as that was done, that could have went so much different. But you had negotiators and everything. You had the social workers out there. They just also happened to be trained in how to use a rifle if that was necessary.
Absolutely, and that's the goal, right? We, unfortunately, in a perfect world, if you could slow everything down, stop time, call a shrink out, hey, we're going to need you. If you could get out here in the next couple hours, that'd be great, and we'll tell this guy to pause. In the real world, it just doesn't happen like that. Most of our major incidents like that are over in a very short amount of time.
And your military-style police equipment that was able to take a phone and put it in the house so he could communicate with the officers if he needed to. I'm glad you don't have military equipment, because God knows. Oh wait, that's right, you do, and you used it to get a guy a telephone so he could negotiate. He never used the phone, by the way, right. But at least he had the opportunity to.
We've used them for that, Tom. We've used them for high water rescues during hurricanes. And here's the fact of the matter is this: I've got a SWAT team that I'm required to outfit properly with all the equipment they need to function safely. In the end, if I can get an MRAP from the military for $500 and save the taxpayers $500,000 for a civilian model Bearcat that does the exact same thing, I think we're
doing it all day.
We're trying to do the right thing here, right? And the fact of the matter is, my SWAT team and the chief of police would prefer the civilian Bearcat for $500,000. Agencies take advantage of that 1033 program to save tax dollars. That is it.
Right.
Because in the end, you're not going to outfit a SWAT team without some kind of a team transport that can take rifle rounds.
That one incident, and it was caught and put on television, it just showed that everything that these advocates say, you need an advocate, you need this, they were all present at that scene. It just happened to be all of them present were also sworn officers.
There you go. And they're the training that these officers get now through Florida Department of Law Enforcement requirements. They're going through annual training that involves the mental health, autism, you name it. They're required to go through it, domestic violence, juvenile crime. So, and it's all focused generally on dealing with the person. It's not talking about the crime. It's not talking about ultimately getting this person fixed. It's talking about dealing with them on a one-on-one basis to bring encounters to a successful conclusion. And quite frankly, we've been doing that for years. Yeah.
You got a few minutes, or you got to go?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here for
well,
you.
Then we'll come back, because we only had you for half an hour, but we'll come back because I want to ask you about some things that are coming up. I know the registration for camps are starting and everything. Right. So we'll talk more with Chief of Police Mike Balken at this time out. You're listening to Ocala Talks on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Democrats are not going to be able to overcome Republican opposition in the Senate to pass President Biden's roughly $2 trillion Build Back Better bill. Tom Cotton, the U.S. Senator from Arkansas, says,
at a time when we have almost $30 trillion in debt, this bill would add $5 trillion to it. We have the worst inflation in 40 years. This bill would add fuel to the fire of inflation.
The Republican Cotton speaking there on Fox News Sunday night in America. President Biden's Build Back Better agenda would focus on issues from health care to education, climate change, and tax laws. The NHL and Players Association announcing cross-border games are now being postponed for the upcoming week because of rising COVID cases. And this is USA Radio News.
If you feel America is facing more dangers than ever, you're right. An increasing number of things are falling apart daily. That's why you need to prepare for more of the unexpected, and that includes food shortages. When people panic, grocery stores run out of food fast. Would you survive without food for days, weeks, even months? The smart folks are buying emergency food now. Take this moment to shop MyPatriotSupply.com. We're America's leader in preparedness. My Patriot Supply has earned over 47,000 4-star and 5-star reviews. Our delicious food kits average 2,000 calories per day and last up to 25 years in storage, so it's there when you need it. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com, order a food kit or two, and we'll ship quickly and discreetly to your door. Don't wait for the news to tell you something bad happened again. Rather, be more self-reliant and prepared. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Or rickandbubba.com under the sponsors. If you're a regular show listener, you probably heard me talk about my all-form sofa, which is insanely comfortable and looks great in the living room. So here's some exciting news. The same amazing team behind my all-form sofa has brought us unbelievable customized mattresses, Helix. Helix has a sleep quiz that takes about 2 minutes to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Greg, how's your new mattress?
Oh, it was a major upgrade. We love it. Plus, it came in a box right to my front door. Really easy to set up, great mattress.
There you have it, folks. Helix is awesome, but you don't need to take our word for it. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired Magazine. So if you're looking for a mattress, just go to helixsleep.com/Bubba. Take the quiz, you order the mattress that you're matched to, and the mattress comes right to your door, shipped for free. Right now, Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders for our listeners. That's at helixsleep.com/Bubba. helixsleep.com/Bubba.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
It's the Mecum Auto Auction in Kissimmee, Florida. The Mecum Auction Company is the world leader of collector car, vintage and antique motorcycle, and road art sales, and this year's auction is in Kissimmee from January 6th to the 16th at the Osceola Heritage Park. WOCA will be broadcasting live from the auction January 7th from 10 a.m. to noon, and you can join us. 5 winners will receive a free one-day ticket for 2 to tour the venue, check out the cars, watch the auction, and take in the Mecum experience. To enter to win, call us at 352-732-8000 when we play this sound.
Sold, 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 sold.
That's 352-732-8000 when this sound is played.
Sold, 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 sold.
This year's auction features over 3,500 vehicles, including the breathtaking McLaren Speedtail. There are only 100 in the world, and you can get up close and personal this year at the Mecum Auto Auction. In order to win, you must be available to attend on Friday, January 7th only. So join Galen Unold and Shane Matthews live from the Mecum Auto Auction January 7th, 10 a.m. to noon, and listen for this sound.
Sold, 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 sold.
For your chance to win the Mecum Auto Auction Kissimmee, January 6th through the 16th.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck. Time's running out, but don't worry, Bob Wine still has tons of money-saving Christmas gifting ideas. Now take a listen. Lots of blooming holiday baskets, perfect for giving. You buy one at Bob's low price and get a second just like it for half price. In the greenhouse, check out the gorgeous selection of Woodstock chimes. Just in, what a perfect gift. Everyone wants their own citrus tree, and Bob has them. Just about any type of citrus you want. Put a big red bow on it, and for just $69.99, you don't even have to wrap it up. And of course, the best last-minute gift of all, a Bob Wine's gift certificate. Buy them in any amount, and you get gift certificates for yourself now or later. So hurry on over. They're open daily till 4. This week, they're closed Saturday, Christmas Day, and on New Year's Day. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, in the same blooming place since 1952. All the folks at Bob Wines wish you a wonderful holiday.
Sold, 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 sold.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that.